welcome to my channel. I'm Safia and this is Deep Core Flow. I hope you enjoy. So as the title of the class suggests, we'll be working on our core muscles today. Having a strong core is less about impressing people with your lack of a pot belly. Although in my opinion, pot bellies can be pretty impressive. A strong core is more about having a strong center, regardless of what it looks like. Stretching and strengthening the muscles keep the organs behind them supported, safe, and free to do their thing without being squished or compressed by short, tight, and weak core muscles. A strong core supports your spine and your whole body, giving you better stability and balance and alleviating back pain. With a strong core, you'll have better posture and you'll be less susceptible to injuries, as a strong core supports and prevents other muscles from straining. So, a strong core leads to less pressure on the shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles when performing any and all movements. All movement begins from the core, energetically and physically. The third chakra, located in the pit of the stomach, explores action and will. The strength of your core determines the quality of the actions that you take. So now that I'm done saying a strong core 2,000,000 times, let's get started in mountain pose. We'll take some time to connect with our deep core muscles so that we can understand how they work and tap into their support, strength, and power. We'll be connecting to 3 muscles or muscle groups: the pelvic floor muscles, the transverse abdominis, and the multifidus. We'll start with the pelvic floor muscles. These muscles connect the pubic bone and sits bones to the tailbone. It's like a hammock that cradles and supports the bladder and reproductive organs, and it connects the hip bones to the sacrum. Imagine pulling the pubic bone towards the tailbone and the left and right sides of the vagina, if you have one, in towards each other, and lift. Pull everything up and in. If you have testicles, pull them up and forward towards the stomach. I read that this is called bring the boys home. Women can insert a yoni egg and work on holding it and pulling it up and in a pulsing motion. Activating and connecting to the pelvic floor muscles makes it easier to activate and connect to the other deep core muscles. Taking a few breaths here, just to connect with the muscles and the space, lifting everything up and in towards the belly, in towards the spine. For the next 2 sets of muscles, you can use your fingertips to connect to the space so that you feel the muscles activate and you can form a better connection with them. When you palpate the areas, there should be light tension against the fingertips, no bulging that pushes the fingers away. We'll continue with the transverse abdominis muscles. And this one is like a corset around the stomach or abdomen. It runs from the lower ribs to the top of the pelvis, and it stabilizes the low back and pelvis before movement of the limbs. To activate this muscle, you can go ahead and place your fingertips along the abdomen between the ribs and hips. And then you'll perform stomach vacuum. So pressing the belly button up and in towards the spine, keeping the breath deep and slow and steady, feeling the tension against the fingertips as you press your feet in towards the mat. So activating your root lock or mula bandha, lifting the pelvic floor muscles up and in towards the belly and spine, And then activating your upward flying lock or Uddiyana Bandha, lifting the belly button up and in towards the spine, keeping a slow and steady breath. We'll finish with the multifidus muscle. These work together with the transverse abdominis and the pelvic floor muscles to stabilize the low back and pelvis. It's located along the back of the spine, close to the midline. So go ahead and palpate on the back at the waist. And imagine two strings connecting the back of the pelvis to the mid-back on each side. And gently pull those strings up. Avoid gripping the glutes and keep the hips and breath steady. Now we'll bring it all together. So grab your block, place it in between your thighs and come to the top of your mat. So as you move through the next few postures and throughout your class, you want to squeeze the inner thighs in towards each other and activate the muscle groups that we just connected with. Take a deep inhale, reach the arms out and up. As you exhale, lift the chest to the ceiling, reaching the arms back, pressing into your feet. Inhaling to straighten up. Exhaling as you fold forward. Taking your time, bringing the chest parallel with the mat first, and then folding in towards the legs as much as you can. Remembering to lift the pelvic floor muscles up and in, belly button in towards the spine. See if you can jump back to a plank pose. Reaching the heels back, pressing down into the hands, shoulder blades moving back. Watching your breath. Keeping the hips lifted. And then lift the hips up and back, taking down dog. Roll forward again into plank. And take your version of chaturanga, knees down or up. Take your version of back bend, up dog or low cobra. And then lift the hips up and back into your down dog. All while squeezing the block, squeezing the thighs in towards each other. Find your way forward into a half lift position. And as you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, going back up the way you came in. And exhale, hands together in prayer. Taking another round of sun salutations. Inhaling, reaching out and up. Exhaling, reaching back. Inhaling to straighten. Exhaling, folding forward. Easing down first, finding half lift and then forward fold. Keeping your spine as straight and supported as possible. Inhaling. See if you can jump back to plank again. Squeeze the thighs. Land with the hips high, just below the shoulders. Your version of chaturanga. Elbows back, either knees down or up. Your back bend. Guide the heart forward. Up dog or low cobra. And into down dog. Reaching the heels towards the mat, pushing the mat away with your hands. Maybe this time you hop forward to your half lift position. Exhaling as you fold forward. Inhaling all the way up into your mountain. Hands at your heart in prayer. Removing your block, placing it off to the side of your mat. And then reach your arms wide, reaching the wrists forward as you reach the back of your hands in towards the shoulders. Releasing the wrists. Then releasing this pose, coming to sit. Keeping the toes tucked as you sit back onto your heels. Sitting up nice and tall. Then reach the wrists forward again, reaching the arms back. Shoulder blades go down your back. Inhaling to reach up as you alternate between making fists and spreading the fingers wide, as fast or slow as you choose. Just giving the wrists some love. Make your way into plank pose. So wrists below the shoulders, toes tucked as you reach the heels back, hips lifted, shoulder blades going down the back, head lifted. And then activate the pelvic floor muscles, transverse abdominis and multifidus. Watching your breath. Maybe you notice lightness in your core as you tap into the strength and support of these muscles in your plank pose. On your next exhale, taking down dog. Finding your foundation. Observing the spine and your deep core muscles as you breathe, deep and slow. Taking a deep inhale, and with the strength of your core, reach the right heel back and up to the ceiling. And then keep the hips lifted as you reach your right leg forward and in between the hands for lunge. Observing the power in your legs and core, staying light in the hands. Rooting into the hands now as you reach your leg back and up, and then back into down dog. Taking it on the other side with the left leg reaching back and up with power, and coming forward and down in between the hands. Rooting into the hands and right leg as you reach your left leg up to the ceiling, and then settling into down dog once again. Step the right foot forward as you bring the left knee down onto the mat, coming into a low lunge. Inhaling to reach the right arm up and back as you reach your left foot in towards your right hand. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't. Either way, go ahead and bring some movement into the hips. So lifting the hips away from the mat and then sinking them back in towards the mat. Stepping back to your plank and then finding your down dog. Taking it on the other side with the left foot forward, right knee down, reaching the left hand up and back, reaching the right heel in towards the body, and then lifting and lowering the hips away and towards the mat. Just finding a little bit of movement in the hips, releasing the quads. Stepping back into down dog. Bend the knees, push into the hands and hop forward. See if you can bring your feet to the outside of your hands and lower the hips down, coming into squat. Using the back of the arms and elbows to keep the knees wide and connect with your muscles here, deep core muscles. Lifting the pelvic floor up and in. Observing the sides of the abdomen, lifting that core set up and in, and finding the support of the lower back, lifting up. Then coming to your half lift, flat back. You can use your block. Inhaling when you're ready, coming up into your mountain pose. Releasing your hands at your side. Bring the right arm across your chest and take hold with the left hand. As much as you reach your right arm across the chest, reach your right shoulder down and in towards the spine to release the upper part of the arm. Just observing the stretch there. Switching sides, left arm across the chest, left shoulder moving in and down towards the spine. Releasing the arms as we come into cow face pose. So you can use a strap if you need to. Reaching the right elbow up towards the ceiling, left elbow down and in towards the spine. Maybe you can take hold of your hands, pulling them away from each other as you move the elbows in opposite directions, up and down and in towards the spine. Or you can use your strap and keep pulling against the strap as you move the elbows. Keep the shoulder blades relaxed and down towards the hips as you send both elbows back towards the heels. Gently releasing to switch sides, reaching the left elbow up towards the ceiling, right elbow down and in towards the spine. Moving the elbows in opposite directions but still in and back as the shoulders roll back and down, keeping the neck long and tailbone towards the mat. Releasing the strap off to the side and coming into chair pose, so sending the hips back and down, bending the knees, lifting the heart as you reach the fingertips up at a diagonal towards the ceiling. Keeping the deep core muscles activated as you lower the hips down and back, pressing into the feet, lifting up through the fingertips. Maybe looking up or straight ahead, depending on what feels good for your neck. Steady breath. Deep inhale, coming up into mountain pose. Exhaling, hands together in prayer. Releasing the arms, take a deep inhale, reach up and then back as you lift through the chest. Gentle back bend. Observing the shoulders. Inhaling to straighten up. Exhaling to fold forward. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, step back into your plank pose. Then come into chaturanga of your choice, knees down or up, and the back bend of your choice, low cobra or up dog. Then take your down dog. And we'll play a bit with our three-legged down dog into core plank. So rooting into the hands, take a deep inhale, reach the right leg back and up to the ceiling. On your exhale, reach the right knee forward towards the right shoulder. Inhaling, right knee to the right wrist. Exhaling, right knee to left wrist. Inhaling, right knee to right shoulder. Exhaling into your three-legged down dog. And inhaling, settling into down dog. Switching sides, left leg up and back. Inhaling. Exhaling, left knee to left shoulder. Inhaling, left knee to left wrist. Exhaling, left knee to right wrist. Inhaling, left knee to right shoulder. Exhaling, three-legged down dog. Inhaling, settling into down dog. Staying connected to those deep core muscles, observing the foundation in the hands and feet. And we will go again. Left leg up and back, left shoulder, left wrist, right shoulder, and back into three-legged down dog. Settling into down dog, other side. Right leg up and back, three-legged down dog. Right knee, right shoulder on the exhale. Right knee, right wrist. Right knee, left wrist. Left shoulder, hips high. Reach that right leg up and back. And then coming into down dog. Steady breath. Finding a quick release in child's pose. Arms forward or back as you choose. Making your way back to down dog as we set up for pyramid pose. So walking the left foot a bit forward and walking the right leg all the way in between the arms. All 10 toes pointing to the top of your mat, pushing down into your feet. You can walk the arms a bit forward to find some more length in the spine. Keep reaching the chest forward. Hips are side by side. And walking to the long side of your mat for wide-legged forward fold. So first taking a half lift here, and then lowering the chest towards the mat, in towards the legs. You can walk your hands back to the insides of your feet. You can reach the elbows out to the side as you allow the head to be heavy. Down into the heels, up into the sit bones. Inhaling to flat back. And then bend the right knee as you press down into the left foot, keeping the hips low as you find length in the spine. Straightening that right leg and then turning the toes to the top of the mat as if setting up for warrior two. So knee above the ankle, hips low. You can use your right hand to rotate the right hip so that the knee and hip go out towards the right middle toe. Keep sinking the hips in towards the mat. Straightening the right leg and then walking the arms forward to take it on the other side. Starting with pyramid pose, left foot forward. Reaching down into both feet, back into the right heel. Lifting the chest forward, long spine. You can walk your hands forward. Walking your hands to the long side of your mat. Coming into a wide-legged half lift first. And then folding forward. So allowing the head to be heavy as you press down into the feet and lift up through the hips. Keep moving the shoulder blades back towards the hips, so away from the ears. And you can make this forward fold a bit more active by rooting down into the hands and sending the elbows back behind you. Inhaling, coming back to half lift. And as you exhale, bending the left knee. Pressing down into the feet, sinking the hips. Lengthening the spine. Setting up for warrior two legs. Using the left arm to rotate the hip, pointing the knee and hip out towards the left middle toe. Sinking the hips towards the mat as deep as you can. As deep as feels strong, steady and supported. Releasing, coming into a wide-legged half lift, and then coming up to stand, turning the feet out at a 45-degree angle, hands on your hips. Bend the knees and lower the hips down into goddess pose. Pressing down into the feet, bring the arms behind the head, interlacing the fingers, reaching the elbows out to the side. Activate your deep core muscles here. Reach the left elbow towards the left knee, pulsing 3 times, and then making your way back up to goddess pose. You can take that again or reach the left hand towards the left ankle 3 times, pulsing, making your way back up. Lowering again, this time reaching the right hand over to the left side, pulsing 3 times and making your way back up. Deep inhale to straighten the legs, shake the hips, and then coming back down, bending the knees into goddess pose. We'll take it on the right side. Right elbow to right knee, pulsing 3 times, working on strengthening the right side, right core muscles, while extending the left. Back to goddess and then down with straight right arm, pulsing towards the ankle 3 times. Back into goddess, left arm over 3 times, reaching to the right side. And back to goddess pose. Straightening the legs, releasing the hips a bit. Watching the breath. Slowly bend the knees as you press into your feet, getting comfortable in the hips, settling into goddess pose. You can keep your arms as they are or hold your arms out to the side with elbows bent. Fingers can be wide, or you can take chin mudra, connecting the index and thumb. As much as you press into the feet, lower the hips, lift the chest and breathe. Inhaling to release. And then exhale, come down onto your knees, setting up for camel pose. Knees down on the mat, hip distance apart. Tops of the feet can be against the mat or toes can be tucked. Reach up through your fingertips, lengthening the arms towards the ceiling as you keep the shoulder blades down. Just observing the core muscles here. Lower the arms and send the hips forward as you reach back towards the heels. And maybe you can take hold of the heels, maybe you can't. Just keep reaching the hips forward as you reach the arms back and lift the chest up towards the ceiling. Looking up at the ceiling, keeping the neck supported. Knees reaching down towards the mat as you lift the thighs and the middle of the chest up towards the ceiling. Creating space across the front of the chest. Reaching the arms back and down. As you breathe, creating length and space in the spine, finding stability in the deep core muscles, legs and arms, and then supporting the low back with your arms as you come up to stand on your knees, and coming onto hands and knees and making your way down to lie on your belly, settling into Sphinx pose. Pushing down into the elbows as you reach your chest forward, lift and lower the right leg away and towards the mat, using the strength of the lower back and glutes. Inhaling when you lower, exhaling when you lift. Switching sides, left leg up and down. Lifting from the low back and glutes. And then we'll take it alternately, so right leg up, then left leg up. Right leg, then left leg. One last round, right leg, and then left leg up. And lower all the way down, bringing your forehead onto the mat. Walking the hands back in line with the shoulders or the side of your chest. Keeping a long spine, we'll take some baby cobras, lifting the hands away from the mat, lifting and lowering the chest and head. Inhaling to lift, guiding the chest forward, looking forward. Exhaling to lower. Then bringing the hands down. Let's see if you can push up into a plank pose here, activating deep core muscles, pushing into the hands and balls of the feet, keeping the gaze down, lift the torso away from the mat. Steady breath, hips are lifted. And then make your way down onto hands and knees. Connecting to your stable foundation of wrists below shoulders, knees below hips. Inhale, find length in the torso as you look up and lift the hips up. Exhale, round the spine, bring the hips towards your face. Inhaling, lifting up with the hips looking up. Exhaling, hips forward towards the face as you look down and in. Inhaling, guiding the chest forward. Exhaling, back of your heart towards the ceiling. And coming back to a flat back. Make your way to sit, bringing your feet forward, knees bent, soles of the feet against the mat. Take hold of your shins or knees and roll down, coming to lie on your back. Interlacing your fingers behind your head. Walking the feet a bit in towards the hips. And then rounding the upper back as you lift the head and elbows in towards the legs. And then slowly releasing down. Reach the heels up towards the ceiling and in towards the body slightly. On your next exhale, lifting the hips up and away from the mat and in towards your chest. And keep going at your own pace, keeping the upper body heavy, using your core strength to lift and lower the hips away from the mat and forward. Deep inhale, extending the heels up to the ceiling. And exhale as you bend the knees and bring the soles of the feet onto the mat again. Make your way up to sit as we prepare for boat pose. So reaching down into the sit bones, lifting the chest up, reaching the shoulder blades down, reach the arms forward, bring the shins parallel with your mat. And see if you can extend your body long, but nothing touches the mat but the sit bones. Inhaling to come up, exhaling to extend. Inhaling to boat, exhaling to extend. Inhaling and exhaling, core strength and support. And then bringing your feet back down onto the mat. We'll take boat pose again, this time bringing the tips of the toes against the mat, lifting the chest up, and then extend the right leg up and forward. Flowing with your breath, you'll alternate legs. Left leg up and forward, then right leg up and forward. Deep inhale as you shoot from your core strength, left leg up, then right leg up. Inhaling left leg up, exhaling as you lower. Inhaling right leg up, exhaling as you lower. Flowing with your breath, shooting power on the inhale from your core. Pressing down into your sit bones. Keep going, almost there. Keep lifting the chest. Keep reaching the arms forward. Left leg up, right leg up. And then take a deep inhale to release and sit up. Settling into a comfortable seat as you watch your body and breath. Taking some relaxed cat-cow movements, inhaling to reach the chest forward, exhaling to reach the mid-back towards the back of your mat. Bringing gentle movement to the head, shoulders and hips. Maybe flexing the feet to support the knees and allowing the hands to roll back and forth around the knee and up the thigh. Just experiencing cat-cow. And then coming back into a seat before making your way down to lie on your back. Bringing your knees in towards your chest. Maybe lifting your head up towards your knees. And then extend your arms out to the side. And allow the knees to roll over to your right side. It's creating length and space in the low back. Allowing the knees to be heavy and the left shoulder to be heavy. You can even walk the knees up towards your right arm, deepening your twist. Gently bringing your knees back to center. Massaging the lower back a bit, rocking the hips from side to side. And then lowering the knees over to the left. staying heavy in the right shoulder, allowing the chest to face the ceiling, allowing the head to be heavy and the breath to be steady. Slowly bringing the knees back to center, rocking the hips gently from side to side, massaging the low back, and then bringing the soles of the feet against the mat. Just observing your breath in this active rest pose. Bringing the soles of the feet together, allowing the knees to lower to the sides. Slowly extending your legs out in front of you one at a time and settling into Savasana, allowing your body to rest, observing your body as it rests, watching your breath flow in and out, softening where you find tension, and allowing your body to absorb all of the benefits of your practice today. Begin to bring gentle movement back into your body. Slowly bringing the knees up and in towards the chest. You can make circles with the knees, massaging the lower back and glutes. Then roll your way up to sit, or just make your way up to sit any way you choose. Taking some more time to observe the sensations in your body as you end your practice today. You can bring your hands together in prayer, bowing your head towards your hands, giving thanks for these moments spent connecting to, exploring, and experiencing your core strength. And as always, I thank you for sharing your practice with me and for allowing me to share mine with you. From my heart to yours, I wish you peace and presence.